We should be live. Hopefully. I don't see anything on my screen yet, but
It says loading.
Be live.
Oh, yeah.
We're good.
Cool.
All right. Well, no mulligans. All right.
Huh?
We're no mulligans. No shit. You delete that. We can't do that here. We're live. But yeah. Welcome back to the Eskandy Sports Podcast, guys. A very first edition of the podcast live. So if you happen to catch it while we're recording live, we got the chat open. You can tell Tyson whatever you want to tell him, or ask him questions, or whatever's on your mind. Tyson, you are the officially Eskandy Sports guinea pig when it comes to new ideas.
Yeah.
What do you remember from home court?
That was fun. I remember.
Are you saying that?
No, honestly, it was fun. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. Just like this too, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
actually, a little bit.
The thing is, with the home court, I told you probably like a couple weeks in advance, like, yo, there's this new thing I want to do, like player profiles, but like Players Tribune meets video type of thing. Today, I just told you, like, by the way, the podcast is live today. I always try to up the stakes a little bit. But here we are. For people that don't know you, Tyson, how would you describe yourself, introduce yourself?
My name's TYSON LAMA. I'm a class of 2024 basketball player at New Horizon. I like to say I'm a pretty nice guy. So, yeah, that's basically it.
I think you said that in the original home court as well. And I think I edited it out, but we're live. I can't edit this part out. So TYSON LAMA is a nice guy. Tyson, dude, I've known you for actually quite a while now, eh? Yeah. When did you start playing? Did you play at Burlington Force, or did you started at Burlow?
I played Burlington Force.
Yeah.
Grade 9.
Yeah. Dude, how different, even from home court to now, has your basketball outlook looked differently? Like, how do you approach the game? It's different.
I think it's like night and day, honestly. A lot of that goes to like the coaching staff at New Horizon and like helping me with my work ethic and all of that things, all of those things. But yeah, honestly, the way I play the game, I think is a lot different, and the way I look at it is a lot different.
Yeah, no, and I could tell last summer you were playing with Burlow in the rep AAU season and stuff like that, and then you come to New Horizon, you get introduced to the prep game.
Yeah.
Culture shock moment for you?
Not really. I knew a lot of the guys that were coming to New Horizon, like Luke and Dom and Cam and all those guys. So I was ready to play with them, but more like playing like all the big names that like you would see on all those big sites. That was like getting used to.
What about the game itself? When was your first game? Was what, probably a week or a month or so into the year, or
something like that, like a scrimmage or something like that with Southwest. But yeah, just how fast paced the game was, and like learning like that at like 6'5", like I'm not gonna be the tallest basketball player on the floor anymore, like by any means.
No. Oh, you're not even, especially on this team.
Yeah, we're a big team. So yeah, honestly, just the pace of the game and like how fundamental you have to be, how fundamentally sound you have to be, because like not a lot of it slides. You know what I mean?
Let's back up. I remember you were telling me that you wanted to go to this school.
Yeah.
Probably a week or two before you announced it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what is a New Horizon?
Yeah.
What was do you think it was risky coming into a brand new program and trying out prep?
I think it was more risky, like for me as a person, like if I wanted to go prep or not. But if I was going prep, like I knew I was wanted to come here because for me it wasn't a what's it called? What did you say again?
I don't know. I forget stuff as soon as I say it, bro. Like basically it
wasn't like I didn't think of it like
a risk or
risk. Yeah. I didn't think of it as risky because I knew Ray, I knew Coach Z, and I knew those guys wouldn't be like setting up a BS program. You know what I mean? Like I knew what was gonna happen with like
Mhm.
the work habits and like how they were going to treat things on and off
Right.
the court. And I wanted to be a part of that. So
Are you grade 12 or 11 right now?
11, grade 11.
Grade 11.
Mhm.
So you've never been to high school.
I was in high school for like the first semester of grade 9.
So, and then it was just
And
taken
then,
right away
yeah,
from you.
yeah.
So I wonder if that's almost a good thing for you, because you never actually got to go through the high school experience of
Yeah.
like, you know, what normal high school teenage kids
Mhm.
do. Is it weird, you know, practicing every day and only seeing the guys that you play with and the junior team?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think it was good that I had like the grade 9 experience,
Mhm.
because then I like that's like the cool, like, oh my gosh, high school, like
Yeah.
this is so awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really like the model of the
Yeah.
school, and just how like focused you can be, and
Mhm.
how encouraging everyone around you is. And when everyone's got like the same goal, it makes it a lot easier to go for it. You know what I mean?
So you're okay with sacrificing a social life basically for
Uh,
uh,
no,
the green.
I wouldn't say that. I got friends and stuff that I'll hang out with after school, and
Mhm.
like a lot of these guys are my friends. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
have a really good time here, hanging out and like making jokes and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but then like let's say you had a game
mm,
and then you guys, you know, lose and you got class the next day
true,
with, you know, whoever, maybe you had a bad game and
mm,
now you have to, you know, there's
mm,
no escaping it.
true.
Have you become more accountable for having to go through stuff like that? Was there a moment this year where maybe you didn't have your best game and you had to be, you know, you can't really run from it?
Yeah, I think so for sure. But on the flip side, a lot of people are like understanding. You know what I mean? Like if I had a bad game and I was in a bad mood, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, how'd the game go? How'd the game go?"
Hmm.
Instead of I come here and like the guys on the team will know what happened in the game,
Hmm.
so they're gonna understand like my feelings and things like that. So
Yeah, and I mean, and they could be next, right? Not to
exactly.
say that that ever happened.
No,
Actually,
yeah.
let's rip the band-aid off. There's one more question I wanted to ask you about
Mm,
school specifically.
okay.
Um, where do I want to go with this? Do I want to ask you how you feel about there being no girls at New Horizon, or do I want to ask you about 40 the 40 game?
Ask me about the 40 year game. I'm ready for it.
Okay, so but like we were talking about tough games and stuff like that,
Mm,
and obviously Leonard Miller was trending upwards heading
mm,
into that game, and in that game he just
yeah.
explodes. Tip your hat after a game like that, like
Uh, like I don't even know, man. Honestly, for me that was probably the culture shock, like you were
yeah,
talking about before. Just like guys being able to do things like that. Like, um, we game planned,
yeah.
like we set up like a system, and he
I wouldn't
just
even
went
say the game
crazy.
plan failed. I think if you watch the
Yeah.
game back, and I might have put the highlights on YouTube, but they're tough shots, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. I think it's one of those days. It could have been pretty much anybody there.
Hmm.
Would have played the exact same defense just as well, and
Hmm.
then I think he still hits those shots
Yeah.
regardless. What do you think about him declaring for the draft?
Honestly, I think that's pretty cool. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that's the first like guy I was on the same court with that's like even thinking about NBA right now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But I would like we played them again,
Hmm.
and he kind of only played like the first half, but I really wanted to play all those guys at 40 year again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But next year, next season, right?
Yeah, next year, and who knows what they're gonna look like next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I mean that's probably the way you want to do it, right? If this guy's going in the league potentially, I mean he will eventually,
Mm,
whether it be this year or he goes college or whatever, and then comes back. Um, like that's what it is. Like
yeah.
if you want to make it to the highest level of basketball,
Yeah.
he is someone that is aligning in
Mhm.
that way. Um, what would you say your highlight of the season has been so far?
What do you mean, like OSBA? Like the
It
OSBA
could be
season?
OSBA, just this calendar year at New Horizon prep basketball.
Just like I think the Crestwood game,
Hmm.
um, regardless of what like a lot of people were like asking me like, "Oh, how did Elijah Fisher score that much?" And I was like, we
Oh, that's right. Elijah had a
yeah.
good game.
No, but like
Right.
we were up like 25
No,
points in
look,
like
you only run up you only get big numbers like that if it's a close game, right? Like
Like
he would have been sitting in the fourth quarter if it had not.
we were up like 25 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But honestly, that game I know for a fact I played that one much different than the first one, in the fact that
Mhm.
I didn't want to back down from that guy. You know what I mean? I didn't
Mhm.
want to. I wanted to go at him, and I went on a little run late in the fourth, but
Mhm.
and I got fouled out. So, but yeah,
You had a moment earlier this year that I wanted to kind of press you on. It's a good thing. I don't think it was after the Fort Erie game, but I think it was earlier in the year. And like when I was talking about a culture shock earlier, like
Mm.
you're coming from the rep season where you were, going to the rim whenever you wanted,
Yeah.
finishing however you wanted,
Yeah.
dunking for the first time in games a lot of the
Mm.
time, consistently at least. And then you go to prep and the defenders are bigger. You're changing the way that you attack the rim. I would classify it as maybe the yips. What would you classify that period? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think like early in the season.
It was early in the season. I actually came out to one of the practices right after.
Yeah.
And you did some positive things to try to correct yourself. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want me to set you up more?
Yeah, I don't.
So
I forget.
basically, you had a tough game. You were doing this thing that I've never seen you do before, and I've been watching you play for a long time, where you were hesitant going to the rim. You were contorting your body away from contact.
Yeah.
You were trying to avoid getting hit.
Mm.
And the next day in practice, I just happened to be there, doing whatever I do. And then, you came up to Ray and the coaches, and you're like, "How do I fix this?"
Yeah.
Can you take us through that thought process? Is that a little clearer now?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm the type of person that like I don't really get down on my like failures. I wouldn't even consider them failures or anything like that. Like I just want to get better. So I remember that. I remember that because like our first couple games, I didn't play because I was like going through like an injury. So like we set up like scrimmages and stuff like that. So like it was kind of like less pressure, but more like, oh, like this is what it's gonna be like in prep basketball. You know what I mean? But so I played our first game. It was an OSBA game, and I was like, there's pressure now. You know what I mean? But I didn't get those first games, so I remember I was pretty nervous, and yeah, I went at it, and I just asked the coaches because I like Ray is gonna tell you like what you need to know, and he's not gonna care because he knows like what's best for you. So I was reaching out to him, and like I'm glad I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it was mature because it was like you were struggling.
Yeah.
You felt you were struggling at least, and the proactive moment there is like, okay, how do I get better?
Yeah.
How do I get better? For people in their, let's say, entering their first year of prep next season, what's the thing you learned later that you wish you learned off rip?
If you're a young guy, like don't put too much pressure on yourself, and like learn from like the older guys. I think like I went in like for a new team, like I thought like I had to do like these crazy things and like put up like these big like point numbers and all these things, but like a lot of guys stepped up on this team, and it was great. Like we had a 8-8 record, I think, to finish off. I would say like just don't put too much pressure on yourself, and like learn how to play the game the right way, because it's like an entirely different game.
Right.
Like Ray and I early in the season were like looking at when I was playing rep, and he was saying like, if you do this, you're gonna get like dunked on from the baseline. You know what I mean? So just like understanding how to play the game and like focusing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But that never happened to you. You avoided getting caught up on a post this year, didn't you?
Which one?
Like, no, I'm saying you never.
Oh,
you
no,
didn't get caught this year.
No.
Like they might have scored, but they didn't dunk on anybody.
Not me.
You don't think about that, do you? Can you think about that? Like,
honestly, it's pretty quick in the moment, but like Nah, I would probably foul the guy. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't let that happen.
Let's back up a little bit to before you arrive at New Horizon. You had interest across the board in terms of a prep program. You've had domestic options. You obviously had New Horizon as an option, and you even had a couple of teams interested from the States. What went into your calculations between playing at home versus playing in the States?
Like I said, like I knew I was gonna get better here. And honestly, I didn't think I was ready to like leave home. Like I didn't really have much of a high school experience. That's coming out of like quarantine, where all I know like am doing is living in my family. So I don't think I was like mature enough to go live by myself in like some random state and like only play basketball. You know what I mean? I don't think I was ready to like take care of myself. And like my support system here is great, and I think that's the reason I am where I am today. So if I'm close to them, like that's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I keep seeing people get caught up in going to the States, and it's like I don't necessarily think, I'm gonna have people on the podcast at some point to actually have like a full on debate about this, because like I don't know how much benefit there is to going to the States anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously you guys didn't do grind, but you guys did. You went to Vegas.
Some tournaments, yeah.
You guys got stuck in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go on that one, but you guys do go to the States. The coaches, if you have a good program like New Horizon, they're gonna get the coaches in the gym. And there's just opportunities here that you don't have to leave, especially I think if you're the top of the class, Elijah Fisher, Leonard Miller. This is a pretty good showcase to
for sure
show off your skills, because I mean they're all big dogs in the States, so you might get lost in shuffle. You might not get a second, third chance to show how good you are. So I'm team stay on Canada, but I'm going to try to find some guys that oppose me on that, because people will still go, and well, what was the, maybe basketball aside, what you guys went to Boston and went to Vegas. Are those the only 2 US trips you guys made that?
Yeah, they were.
Which one was more fun?
The Boston one for sure. The Boston one for sure.
What can you tell us about the Vegas trip?
Like a couple guys got COVID.
Yeah.
And so we missed, like we were supposed to play 4 games. We played 3, and we're about to go to the 4th game, and we're on the car, and one of the guys goes, Ray, I just got an email. I have COVID. And because we just like, this is when you had to get a test like 2 days before you go on a plane. And then we're all like, what? And then he cancels the game. We're all quarantining in our hotels waiting for the results. And it was a stressful time because like the pharmacy wasn't sending back like negative results. So like nobody knew who had to like stay here, how long they had to stay here, like over Christmas and stuff like that.
That's right. What that was during?
It was like right before Christmas. It's crazy.
Dude, that's awful.
That's crazy.
Awful.
It's terrifying.
You guys have chaperones and stuff there. Were your parents on the trip? So
my dad was actually, but he came, but he left before the last game. So he was in Canada before he heard that.
Oh, okay. So then, then you're basically stranded out there. I mean, that's not no one's fault. I mean, that's just the circumstances that you're in. How about Boston? Any highlights in Boston, or it just wasn't Vegas?
No, Boston was really good. There's a lot of good coaches in the gym. We went around like a university campus. So like Boston was a great trip. We learned a lot, and
so it's not unheard of to have coaches at practices or coming out to games and stuff like that. Were you able to keep it consistent all the way through when coaches came, or was the first time a coaches came to like a practice or a game were you like
no for sure? No, but it wasn't like stuck. But the first time that a coach came to the gym, everyone on the team was going hard, like warm-ups. Everyone was locked in, like we're doing 3-on-3s. Everyone's like clapping, screaming, like Yeah, it was
And then
fun.
by the end of the year, what's it like?
It's kind of all the same now.
It's
Know
kind
what
of just
I mean?
mellows out.
Yeah.
Like it's not that big of a deal anymore.
Well,
Like,
now because like we were just practicing that hard now. You know what I mean? Like a big thing for this team is like a lot of guys were new to like me. Like I'm definitely part of this group.
mhm.
Like a lot of guys like didn't understand what it like took to be a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
And like everyone's bought in now. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like our team is going to be a very scary team, very competitive team next year.
Okay, so what does it take to be a good basketball player to you then?
Just the consistency.
Yeah.
Like Ray and I talked about this. Like I would have a really good week where I would like be in practice and everything like that, and then the next week I would kind of be like whatever, like in the middle of the drills and doing just like being a little nonchalant sometimes.
Mhm.
And like that's the reason I came here. He sold success.
Mhm.
That's what he was selling, and I bought it. I understood what Ray's vision for me was, and a lot of guys think the same way. Like that's like he tells you straight up what he thinks you're capable of,
Mhm.
and like he's seen through like Lucas Akota, Coleman Stuke,
Mhm.
all those guys, like how to get there. So
Yeah.
a lot of guys bought into the blueprint of working hard, being accountable, dedication, all those things.
For next year, what do you think is a realistic goal for you and this team?
Honestly, an OSBA championship, and I'm not just saying that. I think we have the firepower, and I think something that we were missing this year was, for lack of a better word, like being a good dogs or
Mhm.
like having fight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think like we were a young team.
Mhm.
We're a lot of returners are coming back. Like a lot of people are coming back on the same team. We have chemistry now. We've built culture, and like we're ready to like compete at a high level. We're not gonna back down from like any teams. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. What about individually? What kind of goals do you have for yourself?
Honestly, I wanna prove a lot of people wrong.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people um saw me and like thought I was gonna do certain things during the prep season that I didn't necessarily do.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people kind of crossed my name off their list. And I want like my goal is to make a lot of people um see what I've like the work I've gone through.
Yeah, maybe
And
second guess their first
yeah,
opinion.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly.
What do you think it's going to take to get there? What are you working on specifically? Are you working more offensively, defensively?
Yeah, I'm working offensively, but like I'm not saying like my goal is 20 points per game or
Mhm.
anything like that. Like my goal is to like for our team to win, like
Mhm.
be a winning program, be a main guy in a winning program,
Mhm.
and then like let them say what they want to say after that. But
Mhm.
if we're beating teams, like I don't care what anyone has to say.
I talked to Vishana last week or maybe 2 weeks ago now, and he had a very clear goal of in his mind is he not wanted to be just BioSteel, but
Mm,
BioSteel MVP.
mm,
You're less concerned about those sort of athletes. You're really
for
just
sure.
bought in all in for winning.
Well, grade 13 and like my return year, that's when I can start thinking about schools. But I want to win, and
Mhm.
I think my individual accolades will come from a winning team and a winning program. So, I don't think like if you're averaging 30 points on a team that hasn't won a game, like
Right.
you're not getting recruited, you're not getting whatever. You know what I mean?
Last question before I wrap it up here, even though that's probably a way better place to end it right there.
Mm.
But now that you've gone through the prep season and now you're going back into AAU, you've had some big games already early in the AAU season. Have you found AAU to be, I don't want to say easier, but maybe less challenging than last year after going through a prep season?
100%. I was thinking about this myself. Like I'm in like U16 right now.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing guys that were playing EYBL 17U like the summer like before the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so we're playing 2 years up, but it's not just like any. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's 2 years up at the competition that I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing at my own age now.
Yeah.
So it's more just like building confidence and Yeah.
And just keep grinding away at it.
Honestly, chipping away. Yeah.
What time do we got here? We got 6:11. You watching the playoffs at all?
Yeah.
What you watching Raptors?
I honestly think that.
You think we're gonna do it?
Honestly, like
There
there's something in me that thinks that it's gonna be like.
I mean, Embiid's thumb's kind of messed up. You know,
the Raptors have that luck. You know what I mean? Like when Golden State. I want to say luck because you don't want to prey on players'
Yeah.
downfalls, but.
Yeah, no, I feel you, but I also think they play better when Fred's not playing. I don't know why.
Really?
Just for this season or this series specifically, when they can just play all the giants together,
Yeah.
and just beat up Embiid, like there's no break on the court now. But so you're just Raptors through and through. There's not much to it. It's just
I like OKC too, but
oh, that's I mean I guess
yeah
Shay's over there. I don't know if you Blue Dort. Well, Tyson, thank you so much for being the guinea pig yet again.
Thank you for having
Home
me.
Court episode 1.
Yeah.
The Eskandy Sports Live episode 1.
Maybe Eskandy Sports first mixtape too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Probably.
That practice one.
Could be.
That one of them. One of them.
I remember I did stuff for Simi Shatu really
true. That's
early,
true. I remember that.
But you were in on that. I remember the power. Do you remember the power hands? The gloves.
What about the photo shoot? The New Jersey for Burloak.
Oh,
first photo shoot.
The photo that was there was a photo shoot, and then there was the oh my god, this god. I just took it off my Instagram lately. Do you remember the promo?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Nobody told me it was trash.
It was awesome.
No, it was
I thought it was awesome, man.
It was awesome at the time. I think I shot that with my iPhone.
No.
I didn't have a camera until later. I remember I had the gimbal. Do you remember the
that was probably it.
Yeah, it was just an iPhone video. Shot my people shoot full on movies with iPhones now.
Yeah, man.
I can't even shoot a mixtape with an iPhone.
It's like
it's crazy. Actually here's another one to maybe actually wrap up on. So if basketball wasn't in the cards for you, like if for whatever reason someone just took away basketball, like it's like Footloose, like basketball is illegal in this town now or whatever, like it doesn't exist. What do you think you'd be doing? What are your interests? Like, what would you want to do outside of basketball?
I'll probably play another sport. You know what I mean? Probably like football or something like that.
So you're just sports all the way down.
Well, yeah, like I don't know. I wouldn't be as like into it as basketball. Like I probably wouldn't be trying to chase a Division I scholarship and things like that.
But no quirky sort of hobbies that you have. Like I was watching the Hoop Summit with Leonard Miller was playing on Team World versus Team USA, and the guy golfs.
Like,
really? You wouldn't think so, right? The kid's 6'11", he's golfing.
No, honestly, like I'm boring. I just play basketball and then
video game.
A little bit. I used to play a lot of 2K, like in quarantine, but I kind of like that flushed it all out for me. I would just go on like 3 hour, like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I still play 2K. Probably more than I wish to admit. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the first episode of the Eskandy Sports Live podcast. Next time, we'll do some promo. I just wanted to see if it works. If it sounds good, looks good, after we wrap up this episode, let us know, and we'll do another one of these sometime soon. And I might just make this like a yearly thing with you. I think we're keep checking in, seeing how you're doing, and who knows? Maybe even when you go pro, we'll keep doing it. So
hopefully.
Thanks, Tyson.
Appreciate
Thank you guys.
it, man.
Bye. I gotta end the broadcast.